just for the record, Gavin Newsom can't run again because there are term limits in California. So this really is going to be an open seat, which leaves a big, big opportunity for you. So he's been trying to like get his swagger going over this whole redistricting battle and act like a tough guy, because he obviously wants to be president, and that's where his eyes are focused. So he's been sending out these bizarre tweets. First, he just started threatening, like, if you do this in Texas, which, by the way, they did have to do. We went back and actually looked at it more seriously. The districts in Texas had resulted, these few that they're targeting, as a result of racial lines being drawn unfairly to try to group blacks and Hispanics together and exclude whites. And the DOJ said, that's illegal. You have to redo them. So they're redoing them. And we are going to wind up with 5 net new seats in Texas. And that state will reflect its voting bloc appropriately as a result of this. California already has an imbalance in favor of Democrats, where it has almost no Democratic representatives. And Gavin Newsom is acting like a spoiled child because he needs attention. He wants to look tough. But I just want to read a couple of the tweets because it's getting he's getting like weird. All right, so he tweets this out, and he signed it GN, so this one came from him. Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, that taco, according to leftists, stands for Trump always chickens out. Ask Iran if that's true. Missed the deadline. Now, by the deadline, he means his own declared deadline for Donald Trump to back down in Texas. Gavin Newsom said, you have till Tuesday to stop it. And Trump blew him off like the flea that he is. He missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. This is in all caps with an exclamation point. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor, that will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GN. An obvious attempt to sound like Trump in Trump's Truth Social posts and totally missing the reality, Steve, that there's only one Donald Trump and he cannot be copied.
I know. It's so embarrassing. I mean, you know, as my teenage sons would put it, cringe of the highest order. What is he doing? And this has been going on for a while now, actually. They've been using that account with these ridiculous parody posts. And it's not funny. I mean, we'll get into it. I mean, especially when you think about all the problems, the real problems, like it is the worst run state in America, California. He's got a lot to deal with right here in California. The fact that we have the highest unemployment rate in the country, the highest poverty rate, the highest cost for everything that matters, housing, gas, electricity, water, you name it, the worst business climate in America. Like everything is a disaster. I mean, never mind homelessness and crime and everything else. And then he's doing this kind of thing. Exactly as you say, this idea that Texas started it is ridiculous. If you just look at the raw numbers and you say, what would it look like if we did have fair representation in California, just on the congressional districts? We would have, from California, an extra 12 House seats for Republicans, 12.
For Republicans,
so they've already taken 12. Now he wants another 5 or 6. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. And he's running around doing this kind of thing on social media. It is utterly pathetic. I'm on the road the whole time since launching my campaign at the end of April. People are so angry and fed up with the way things are going. They're fed up with the struggle, the cost of everything, the hassle of everything. I honestly believe of course, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to win at all. It's going to be very difficult. Their machine is very powerful. They got the unions, all of that. But I really think we've got our best shot in at least 20 years. People are desperate for change, and, you know, that's the plan. I mean, we've got to deal with these real problems.
You mentioned the homeless problem in California. I've experienced it myself. I've been out to LA a few times over the past couple of years. You literally have to step over the homeless encampments, like the tents, and like just to get from A to B. It's so ubiquitous there. It's really seriously problematic. You toured a homeless encampment near the San Jose airport, and this is some video you posted to your X account on Monday. Here it is, South 41.
Just here, right by the San Jose International Airport. And you get off the plane and say, oh, the capital of Silicon Valley. And they brag about this being the world's 4th biggest economy. And there, look, this is what you get This is what you get. This is what you get from Democrat one-party rule. It's an absolute disgrace. How have we allowed this to go on for so long? Look at this.
Tent after tent after
Just
tent.
as far as you can see. And let's go across here. Just look.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Just walk down here a bit. This is Gavin Newsom's California. This is Democrat-run California. It stinks of piss and shit.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that, were those trailers in the second, like were those campers, Steve, like parking out? What was that in part two?
Yeah, it's a permanent encampment. I mean, I described it as the kind of third world slum conditions. It's not the favelas in Rio de Janeiro. It's San Jose. They brag about being the capital of Silicon Valley. It is so shameful. And this has been there for years and years and years. And it's right across the state. But by the way,
it doesn't even have to be like when I went to
the
the premiere of Mr. Bircham, which was my fun little cartoon I did with Adam Carolla, which was at this like swanky place where it's like a very nice neighborhood. Same. It looked the same as that. So you don't have to go out like very far to find this.
100%, it's everywhere. And the smell is a real, that's why I always make this point. I was covering the protests in LA when you with the ICE stuff going on and the riots and all of that. I was right there reporting on that and talking to people and making the case for, let's not get into the specific argument about what was going on. But there too, I mean, we saw the chaos and the crime and the lawlessness and setting cars on fire, all of that. But throughout it all and days afterwards and everything else had been gone, you were left with the stink. In LA, our second city, about to host the Olympics, everywhere you walk in downtown Los Angeles, it stinks of piss and shit. That's the truth. And it is so shameful. It's been like this for years, and they've done nothing about it. And these are the people, these Democrats who brag, who go on and on about lecturing everyone about equity and social justice and how compassionate they are. It's just beyond belief. On a lighter note, though, I have to say, I'm very happy that you showed us the whistle lady earlier, because now I think maybe with the Californians are sitting around thinking there's this audit a few months ago saying $24 billion of our money spent on homelessness. No one can track where it went. The problem just got worse. I think we know now. They bought whistles. Neon whistles.
Yes, right. Plastic and neon. Very cute. Very cute. I'm telling you, my 12-year-old would love that. But not to mention, speaking of money disappearing, we just did a story on AM Update earlier this week on the California wildfires. All these big stars came out to raise money and made promises that the money would go directly to the Californians whose homes had burned. It didn't. We're trying to track down $100 million now, which appears, according to the reporting that we did, based on some local sources, to have gone to a combination of like immigration groups, random leftist causes, as opposed to rebuild homes. You see these aerial shots of what's been rebuilt in the Palisades, and nothing. The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing has been rebuilt. And Gavin Newsom is worried about doing parodies of Trump tweets online.
It's exactly right. I mean, it really illustrates so many of the deep problems of California. I'm there often. I was in Altadena the other week. Palisades, I was there for the 6-month anniversary on the same day that Gavin Newsom at a press conference was bragging about this being the fastest recovery effort in history, historic speed of recovery he was talking about. I did my press conference standing in front of a pile of rubble in the middle of Pacific Palisades that was kind of flowing out onto the street and onto the road. He couldn't even clear the sidewalk. He promised 6 months ago this is classic Newsom. He just runs around saying things, nothing happens. He promised a Marshall Plan to rebuild Palisades. It's just a joke. But the point about the missing money is very, very deep, actually, because this is exactly the serious answer to where the $24 billion of homeless taxpayer money has gone, is exactly where the fire aid money has gone. This unbelievably corrupt network of non-profits and charities, so-called, and all these groups and activist organizations that form part of this this system, the Democrat industrial complex, I call it, because that's the same story for everything. This is why we pay the highest taxes in the country, but have some of the worst outcomes on everything, because the money just gets funneled into this Democrat machine. There's something that is rarely discussed, which is something called VMT, vehicle miles traveled, which is this thing they came up with, part of their extreme climate agenda. Talk about luxury beliefs. The climate extremism is a classic example of that. And they just put this fictional amount of charge for the amount of money, amount of miles that are traveled for any new road project or housing project or anything you want to build. They put this allowance in for vehicle miles traveled, how much traffic's going to be generated, and then they charge taxes on that. Guess where the taxes go? It's called mitigation for climate impacts, and it goes right back to the NGOs and the climate activists and all these organizations. This is what goes on in California. This is what you get with 20 years nearly of one-party rule, this kind of corruption.
So what do we think the effect of the sparring between President Donald Trump and the Fed is going to be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Do we trust in that? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown as they slow roll any of their moves as they worry about his tariffs? And what exactly does all of this mean for your savings? You might want to consider diversifying right about now with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep it in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898, and you'll start the process of just getting the 411 on what it means to own gold. Consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead of the curve for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.